everybody. I'm half asleep. I didn't sleep at all very well last night. Welcome back to the channel. I'm going to try and make today's video like 15 minutes because the others have been about 30 and I think that's too long. Anyway, let me get the bike out and we'll have a chat. So where are we going today? Today is brought to you by the letter C. Going to a place called Clunes today. Going the long way round, so it's a 2.5 hour ride, which would be great. There is a quicker way, but we don't want to do that, of course. It's out through Dalesford. Anyway, I'll go down the driveway. We're about an hour from Clunes. It's beautiful riding out here, a few rough bits, a lot of farmland of course and big open road stretches. So we'll be there in an hour. Yesterday's temperature was in the mid-30s, hot and humid Celsius, and today's the low 20s, quite cool and cloudy. I'd prefer this though than riding in the humid sticky heat, that's for sure. GPS says that way, that sign says that way, so I'm trusting the signs, not the GPS. We're about 10 minutes away, about 12 kilometres. Beautiful out here. Entering Clunes. What a beautiful ride to get out here. Very open, no twisties and stuff like that, but beautiful rolling hills. It's lovely. Cool town. I'm going to park in front of the Sadler, of course. So I'm to meet Sue Gubby from the museum, and I'm assuming this might be it. And let's find out what Clunes is all about. We're here with Sue, the Clunes Museum.
That's correct. Famous for the first discovery of gold in 1851, and a lot of towns claim that, but ours was the first assayable gold, and there's a big difference because
assayable,
like
right.
They assay the gold, so they know how pure it is. We've got Booktown,
yes,
which is now International Booktown.
International Booktown.
Did you see the white building on the left as you came around the little curvy bridge?
Yeah.
And it's Keeble's B&B.
No,
Yeah.
because that's my surname, Keeble, which is, I mean, that was my married name, so I bought that over from East Anglia. I married my ex-husband in England, and Keeble, there's not too many Keebles in England, but there's certainly not a lot of Keebles in Australia.
No. So
I'll have to have a look at that again.
Okay, so it's Jaja Warung, and that's an aside to one of the bigger clans which come out of Bendigo. Yep. There's all these things which we're trying to incorporate now, like digital displays.
Of course, yeah. I guess the name Clunes sounds European, so there's...
Oh, absolutely, Scottish.
Scottish, so it's obviously named after a pioneer, or...
Yes, that area started off as squatters' runs.
Squatters' runs.
Yes,
right.
basically. And the first gold they found was actually on a squatter's run, and it was a big secret for a long time.
Okay.
But the town's actually built on gold after that. And
Okay.
so they pulled out 16 tonnes of gold.
Wow.
And the local Indigenous people actually call this upside down town.
Okay.
Because it wasn't alluvial gold that made the money, it was the gold in the quartz seams.
Yep.
So they had to dig.
Clunes is named after a Scottish pioneer.
No, it's named after the town that he came from.
Oh, okay.
In Scotland.
So he gave it the name Clunes, but the Aboriginal term for this area is upside down town.
Yeah, pretty much.
And do we know the actual word, the Aboriginal word for that?
That's part of the redo we're doing on the. There was a massive bushfire which took out a lot of Fraser Street.
Okay. Seems to be a theme in Australian towns that bushfires wipe them out. Yeah.
We do have film productions here as well.
Yes. Well, I know Mad Max was filmed at.
The population has steadily increased since about the late 1990s, and it was around 790 at that time, and we're up to about 1,700 now. Historically, we've had a couple of famous artists, like we've got Sir John Longstaff, who was a self-taught artist back in the 1800s. Also Richard Ford, who's quite an accomplished artist, and he is in his 19th century. And Bobby Davis, who used to play for VFL football for Geelong.
Oh, okay, so AFL. So for my American followers, AFL is Australian football.
Well, it was VFL then because it was
Victorian, but now it's all of Australia.
Yeah, now it's amalgamated.
Okay,
so.
well, I'll also find a picture of him because I'm not a sporting person, so I don't know who you're talking about, but I'm sure the Victorians will. Every town I go to say, oh, there's a Black Panther in the hills. You haven't got anything?
Look,
Sorry?
There's no Loch Ness here.
No, sorry, your name?
Mel.
I said there is no Loch Ness.
No, Loch Ness.
There is no Loch Ness monsters here. Just saying that as a joke.
Oh, okay. I thought it was a joke, but then you got very serious and I wasn't quite sure.
Something to anything, is it?
Okay. We'll go in search of the non-Loch Ness monster.
Yeah, we do have a lot of paranormal groups that come.
Oh, some paranormal
activities
go on.
That's being investigated
I knew it.
by the Paranormal Society.
So the Paranormal Society are coming out to investigate paranormal activity in Clunes.
In Clunes.
I knew something would be going on. So there's ghosts in Clunes, is there?
Well, apparently there is.
Right.
We've got, there's not a great native tree population. They're all European trees.
Oh, okay.
That's why it looks so beautiful.
So that's an interesting fact. Yeah. So more European trees that have been planted.
Yeah.
Introduced, yeah.
Wow, but that's been for a long time. That's been since the early 1900s, because prior to that there were no trees because they cut down the trees to make the laths, which support the underground mines.
Okay.
So you wouldn't find a tree.
So it was quite denuded, this area.
Absolutely.
Then when the pioneers came, they started planting the nice trees from England, make them feel at home.
Once the gold ran out, actually, is what they did. Then they decided, they looked at it and went, oh my gosh.
It's a bit bare.
Where I live, there's still mullock heaps from the gold mines, from the old gold mines.
What's a mullock heap?
Oh, okay. So a mullock heap is the waste that they take out of the ground once the gold is extracted.
Right.
So, and they can be usually a few metres high.
Oh.
And nothing really grows there because they had to use arsenic to
big termite mounds or something? So take me on a
representation
of how they would have lived in those
times.
Clock. The time clock was used.
To work and
clock on and off. Oh.
And it was used at the local knitting mill.
How interesting.
It is. I think it's only one of 3 in the world. So
I've never seen one of those before.
It was actually made by a maker who was maker to Queen Victoria. And it's just been restored. It cost us about $5,500.
The guy who made it made stuff for Queen Victoria.
Yeah.
It's not a family tree, it's like a community tree.
It's actually a community tree. Yeah. And these were the movers and the shakers, the money makers. And
look what I've found. Again, everywhere I go I find a school desk. This is how old I am. The last town I visited had one of these. This is me. I used to be such a good student too with my little inkwell and be writing.
Highlight the importance of an event that's called the Clunes riots, where they brought in scab labour Chinese riot because, of course, in Clunes the miners were trying to get better conditions.
Okay, so this was the start of the union movement.
This prompted the way forward. And one of the mine owners was Peter Layla, and of course he was a famous trade unionist, so he kept swapping signs all the time, depending on where the.
So one minute he was a miner, and one minute he was a
trade union organiser and all that sort of thing.
So is this where the term scab came, like scab labour? I think. Let's say so anyway, for the sake of history.
Well, it could have done.
It could have been, because this was the start of it, the Clunes riots.
Clunes riots,
and
1873.
And they wanted to bring in all this sort of scab labour to get the job done.
They didn't know what was going on. They thought they were just being offered jobs.
Right, and this was
and
the
Chinese.
Chinese. Of course, they wanted work.
Of course, they rocked up and they got women in skirts throwing rocks at them and...
Thanks, Sue.
Bye.
You've been very helpful. I've got a mine of information to go and discover. Thank you so much. Bye. This is a really interesting little... Isn't it beautiful? I love these sort of little shops.
Gorgeous.
They're great.
Don't you look fabulous?
Oh, thank you.
Take a photo of your bike.
Oh, thank you. And there, of course, is a bookstore. I love this town. It's another little oddity shop here. So we're going to the pub for lunch. Look at this building, known as Keebles.
Yeah, and I think it's a holiday place now where you can
stay,
but the people used to live in it.
Okay, I'm going to have a look. Yeah. We're at the pub where we're going to have lunch. Well, that looks interesting in there. Why is it that when I go to these sleepy little towns, the one shop that looks interesting is closed? Hello, we haven't booked for lunch. Is it okay that we have a cold and it's a bit of mist and rain in the air? We've just eaten lunch at the pub, the National Hotel. Look at this beautiful old car. That's lovely. Damien's chatting. He's chatting. Look at this hot rod. Are you local here?
Yep.
Are you? How long?
30 years.
30 years, a true local. What's your name?
Stanley.
Stanley. What do you do in town, Stanley?
Nothing. It's a little one-horse town.
So you're retired here in Stanley? Yeah, nice. Got any gossip for me? What do you get up to, Stanley?
After my Irish wife left, I'm a bachelor now.
Oh, you're a bachelor. Well, you're very smart. You're very suave. I like it. You had a Royal Enfield Bullet?
Bullet. Golden Bullet.
Yeah, they're good. I had a little Bullet too with a sidecar.
Yeah.
Thanks, Stanley. Lovely to meet you. Bye. Keebles of Clunes. There we go. Keebles of Clunes. How unusual. Town Hall. Okay, I'll just free up my hands and I see it there, right? Okay, no worries. You guys look after it, do you? I've disturbed your lunch. I'm sorry. Okay, that's the Bottle Museum. So what was your names?
I'm Steve Greenwood.
Steve and
Yvonne Yates.
Yvonne, and obviously Bottle Museum is sort of self-explanatory, but is there any tidbits you can quickly tell me about how it came about?
It was a bequest from George Lee Medlin, who passed away in August '94.
A bottle museum for some time?
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
since '87.
What's the oldest bottle you have here? Do you reckon?
Probably about 1770.
1770,
Yeah,
wow.
we do have a couple of Roman glass bottles,
Yeah.
but they're put away.
Yeah, of course. It's just, can anyone turn up with a bottle and give it to you?
Yep.
You take all bottles?
Yep.
Even modern bottles?
We try to steer away from modern.
You want the more sort of stuff with a bit of
unless
history?
there's something different about
Is
it.
there a bottle here that's got a bit of a famous story? Was it drunk out of by the King of England or something?
Oh, it's very hard to tell. What we do have is, which we acquired last year, Yvonne acquired them for the Bottle Museum, is 3 bottles from the Parramatta River from Australia's first colony.
Okay, that's pretty special.
It's very special.
Were they sort of those amber bottles or were they clear?
No, they're black glass.
Black glass,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Any gossip about Clunes that I should know before I wrap this up?
Not that I'm
No
aware.
unsolved murder
It's a
mystery.
very, very tight knitted little
Yeah,
community.
so no unsolved murders, any crimes that back in the day. I guess in the gold rush there was always a little bit of argy-bargy going on.
Yes.
There-
Well done, guys. Happy New Year. And sorry to disturb your lunch.
No.
It looks delicious, by the way, roast chicken. Did you cook that, Yvonne?
No.
No?
No.
Steve, did you
Buy
cook
lunch.
it? You buy it, okay. If you'd like me to visit one of your towns, please comment below or email me or reach out some way on Facebook or Instagram and give me a heads up. I like towns that are a bit more like villagey type of things, you know, with a little bit of interesting history, some quirkiness about them. Stay tuned, hit that subscribe button, it's free, and hit the bell and you'll get little reminders of when I do these random videos. But also don't forget, the whole three-month USA Canada trip is being dropped 2 a week, and there's 70 episodes of that every Tuesday and Friday, so that'll keep you busy while I do all this stuff back in Australia. For joining me, and thank you to the lovely people of Clunes for their time and graciousness in sharing all their information. We're going to Castlemaine now, which is another C word in the nicest possible way. Well, we're just in the town of Castlemaine, and because this episode is brought to you by the letter C, I figured why not. Now, the big trick is it Castlemaine or Castlemaine? I say Castlemaine, Damien says Castlemaine. Now, Damien's Victorian, I'm New South Wales, so I don't know what the correct one is. So put in the comments below, are you A, Castlemaine, or B, Castlemaine? So we've stopped at, is it Castlemaine or Castlemaine? See, where are we? We're at a place called the Mill. There's shopping in there, that's all that I know. So we're leaving Castlemaine, or Castlemaine, I don't know how you say it, but it is also known as the hot rod capital of Victoria, and there is an active prison still in Castlemaine. Castlemaine. Part of the day, which is Damien's Bolivian death road driveway. What a great day. That was a fabulous ride back too, by the way. Yeah, but I'm getting better at it, I must say. But I still haven't dropped